Howdy, everyone. This is Isaac, and this is the first episode of Isaac Likes Bikes.
Woo!
This is crazy. I know I've been talking about this for years, wanting to start a podcast, and I just cannot believe, shoot, we're started it right now.
Yeah.
It's just wild. Wild to think about. I guess the main reason I really wanted to do this, now, is we've been doing a lot of videos, me and Anyssa, for Merchant Cycles, and we're doing shorter videos, so anywhere between 2 minutes to 5 minutes, and I'm one of those people I would love to talk a lot more about the different topics, and I think that this is a good way for letting me to ramble on about all these different topics we're doing.
Exactly, yeah, just kind of an explanation or more in-depth look at things.
Yeah, so we just did a clutch video for Merchant, and it's it's only 2.5 minutes long, and I could have talked for 20 minutes about different clutches, for an example. But yeah, the main thing for this podcast is going to be talking about bike stuff and then non-bike stuff. It's almost kind of like a vlog type podcast. I would say it's mine, but Anyssa is going to be on here a lot too, so she'll be talking a lot also. But yeah, it's just supposed to be really fun, kind of just to talk about bikes in depth, and then kind of shutting off the mind on bikes and talking about a totally different topic that doesn't involve bikes at all.
Yeah,
maybe a little bit every once in a while, but
yeah. So kind of two different sections. You have a section where you want to talk about bikes, kind of current events or new parts and stuff like that. But then transitioning into just other parts of your life and such. So
yeah, I guess that's a great time to do backgrounds on each one of us. I guess I'll go first. My name's Isaac Cushenbery. I am a service department manager at Merchant Cycles in Emporia. I really like bikes, hence the name. But I also like working on vehicles, tinkering with things. When I was very little, I always said I was an inventor and would invent stupid things that wouldn't even work. But I just like making things and having fun doing it. But yeah, I started riding bikes back in, I think, 2013. It was 5th grade. I started riding with my friend Jack, and he taught me how to mountain bike or bunny hop, then mountain bike, and I was hooked ever since. So I guess now I'm here working at a bike shop, living the dream, and it's awesome. And then, yeah, I guess I also have a background in multimedia. I have a degree in a bachelor's in graphic design and then an associate's in interactive media design. So video, audio, just media in general is a big part of my life, and also Anyssa's life, because we went to school together. I guess, what's your background, Anyssa?
Yeah, my name is AnyssaHammond. And I don't have as big of a background on bikes. I wouldn't say I have much of a background on bikes. One day Isaac just kind of roped me into working with him. So yeah, I also work at Merchant Cycles, do kind of all the inventory and organization, kind of that side of things. But yeah, I've always been into media and videos and just creating anything really. So that's where Isaac and I kind of met, and then we started working together, and I think we kind of complement each other really well in the work. Because we can, he does a lot of the graphics and stuff like that, and a lot of the actual camera work. I do a lot of the editing and the, yeah, so.
Yeah, she keeps me on track. It's the biggest thing.
Yeah, the organization of it and all of that. So.
Oh yeah, I'd be lost on every video I pretty much have ever made. Usually Anyssa's in the background or in front of the camera helping me out through the whole situation.
Some sort of opinion probably, or at least I think I help Isaac a lot, get his thoughts out.
Yes. She's like a translator for my own little language. Yeah. That seems like I have no idea how to even speak that language in the first place. So yeah. She's like the yin to my yang in video production. Yeah.
With that, we also fight like siblings a lot, which I think is kind of accurate.
Oh yeah, 100%. 100%. Yeah. Yeah. Anything else? Any fun facts? She has awesome cats, by the way. I hate cats in general, but she has awesome cats.
Yeah. My cats are kind of like dogs. I mean, she plays fetch.
That's why they're
so-
awesome cats, because they're like a dog.
They are, yeah. So like if Isaac were to like a cat, it's mine.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess the background of me and Anyssa first meeting, it was in high school sophomore year. I don't know the exact year. It was for an eVision class. So the eVision class was like the live streaming for the sports, and actually Matt, also someone who works in Emergent Cycles, was the teacher for it. So we knew him back in high school. We did that all the way through senior year, and then even a couple of times after we graduated because it was still kind of COVID time. But yeah, it was so much fun. That's kind of gave us the like, we knew we wanted to do video after that class because it was just so much fun, because we got to live stream everything and play with cameras.
Yeah, and Matt really helped teach us everything that we really know, and like a lot of that background like really started that process for us.
Oh yeah, like Matt taught us pretty much everything we know about editing, video production, just like the logistics.
Kind of a lot
it.
of the like mindset of it too, like what it takes and like what, like how you have to think and how you have to think about like, oh, what makes it better, and those kind of things. I think that some people do lack, is that mindset.
Yeah, Matt's been doing it forever. He's a fantastic photographer. He's a great videographer. He also owns Gravel Guru. It's a big gravel cycling page on YouTube, on Instagram. They also have a really nice podcast.
Yes.
That's really good. So you guys should go listen to that too, especially after this one. But yeah, the eVision kind of started everything for us. It was kind of one of those, I wanted to be a biologist in high school, and then I took those classes and changed all mine to video. So that was kind of the switch for me, was doing eVision and really liking videos.
So you didn't even know before eVision that you wanted to do videos?
No, freshman year, I signed up for, I think it was like law enforcement and like biology classes, because I wanted to be a biologist for like a wildlife preserve, because I really like hunting and fishing. And then I was like, took a video class with Miss Schwinn, awesome teacher, loved it. And then I did an advanced video with Keaton Tuttle, awesome teacher. And then I was like, oh, I just love this so much. And now
I've known you for all these years and I had no idea.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I just always assumed that you always like wanted to do videos, because I know you had done some videos for fun when you were younger and whatnot.
Well, yeah. I was really big in hunting younger, like all through middle school. So I was like, I love doing that, and I love doing video. But I was like, man, like, no offense, like video, it's kind of one of those, you may make it, you may not. But it was kind of awesome now that's like my big part of our jobs are media production and video and photos and just like marketing in general, which is awesome.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. And I mean, that coincides like too, like video you can do in hunting. There's tons of hunting videos and fishing videos. So
yeah, I think that's something I love about videos. There's so many different like categories, like whether it's gaming or hunting or like literally whatever, bikes. Like there's so many different like endless categories. Anything you're into, there's a video about it. There's a way to make content about it, and I love that so much. Yeah.
But yeah, video is the way to go. That's
so yeah, we went to high school together.
Yes.
We did eVision together, and then I think we both decided to go to Flint Hills Technical College for multimedia design. So we did that whilst we were in high school. Yeah. Our junior and senior year, we did that. And then from there, we learned more.
Yeah. And Casey Wilson was our teacher. Awesome teacher. I think the biggest thing with all these video stuff is we have great teachers. And like, because like I bet you if we had crappy teachers, we'd be like, this video stuff isn't our thing.
And not just good teachers that like can share their skills with us, but I think both Matt and Casey have like been really good with just helping our ideas come to life. Yeah. So like we're like, oh, it would be really cool to do this, and they were like, well, what if we gave you this piece of equipment and you did this? And then it was like, I think that kind of helped us like experiment and figure out how to do things, how to do certain techniques, all those type of deals. Yeah. The tech college was very like, it wasn't specific. It was almost like, okay, here are your tools, you make your video. It wasn't like, oh, you need to there was some textbook work, but it wasn't like, oh, you have to do exactly like the textbook says. Yeah. So it gives you that. Yeah, you get to like adapt each project to what you're interested in. Like I know you did a lot of bike videos, and I did like a few different like soccer videos and stuff like that. So yeah. So
highly recommend going to tech college for any degree too, especially through our high school. We got to do it. I think a year of our college was during high school.
Yeah.
We started junior year and senior year.
We did it part-time for junior and senior year, so it was really nice.
Awesome program. And most of it got paid for by like local scholarships too. So
yeah, super cheap.
Yeah,
for sure.
super
Somehow
cheap.
this became an ad. I don't know where we got here, but
go check out Flint Hills Technical College. But we graduated. And then, we started working together at Merchant Cycles doing videos. And my main job, I always say I'm like Batman. Like my day job is going to be the bike mechanic work, working with customers, custom bikes, stuff like that. And then my night job is video and photos.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But now I get to combine both. So
yeah, it's pretty awesome. Yeah. Having the three of us here with media backgrounds and like all that is really fun because then we get to help each other and still learn from each other even though we're working. So
yeah, I mean, we wouldn't have been able to figure out this podcast without Matt's help because technically this is Matt's equipment too. But I'm like, what recorder do we do? What mics do we do? I don't even know. But yeah. So it's nice having us three here to be able to like bounce off each other, especially with ideas too.
And we've all always worked really well together. So yeah.
Oh, we're like a family though. We'll
100%.
We will bicker back and forth.
Yeah.
It is 100% a family setting.
Matt and Isaac are very much an old married couple that like to argue, and me and Isaac are definitely siblings.
Oh, 100%. Me and him butt heads all the time.
I have to translate for the two of you to each other. It's kind of a therapy thing. Like, no, this is really what he means.
Yes. But I mean, we make great videos. Like, it works out great. It's just one of those, like, I don't think if we didn't have that, like all three of us have that family feel, I don't think our videos would be as good as they would be.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like they would not. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. That was good background for us.
Yeah, this wasn't planned, but we got here. I don't know.
Yeah. I was like, I have a piece of paper here with all the lists. Like, we can talk about this. But yeah, it's kind of nice how like, that just like happened. That was good.
Yeah.
Sweet. Okay, back on kind of my list on my track of how like these podcasts is supposed to look, how it's supposed to feel. We're gonna do an intro. Intros are usually a lot like not as long as that, but we'll like introduce our like guests or people that we're gonna be talking about or like just topics. But after the intro, we would get into like our I call it my bike banter.
Yeah.
Because when we talk about a bike product, even when we're not recording or like talking to like Anyssa or Matt about the bike itself or like a part, I always go ranting on it. But yeah, I think that'll be a good option or like a good place for me to like express my feelings about different products and stuff.
Yeah, because Isaac has a lot of knowledge on bikes and he's experienced so many different things like different tires, different parts and stuff like that. So you have kind of gotten that experience, so you know what's good, what works, what doesn't work, especially in the area that we're in. So
yeah, and if not, thankfully I've met a lot of amazing people in the industry. So even if I don't have the knowledge of it, I have people that I can ask to be like, am I saying this right? Like even in some of the videos, our previous managers here that taught me most everything, Aaron Oppel and Adam Blake, I still am like, I always call them up and be like, hey, am I saying this right? Like, is this the right, is this the right tire for this situation? Or like, how do I fix this the way you would? Or like, how would I word it?
Yeah.
I know I've been talking a lot with him about like, scripts, especially with upcoming videos, especially, because some of these parts, like I know really well, but I don't know how to make my words talk about these
or like
bike parts.
The most accurate term or the most accurate like way to phrase something or
because it's like I want to make sure all of our videos that we do, especially for the bike shop at Merchant, are as accurate as possible. I mean, we're all human. We're gonna mess up a couple of times. But I just want to make sure everything is tip-top shape. I want these videos to be perfect as they can be. But
and accurate and like But
yeah, we'll talk more in depth about bike parts, bike topics, races, upcoming events, We are the gravel capital here in Emporia. So we'll be talking a lot about Unbound. Hopefully having like guests on would be fun.
Yeah, ideally.
Even guests that aren't even bike related. Like, I think I would love to have my dad on. Because my dad has watched, especially me, go through these different steps in life of, wanting to do hunting and biology. And then it's like, oh yeah, I'm going to do videos and bikes because I like bikes. So I think that'd be fun to have him on. And he also rides a lot of bikes too. So he's got me into it too. But yeah, I think the bike talk is going to be more like technical side. But I don't want to have just bikes on this podcast.
No.
So this brings us to their next one. It's the no bike zone. Because we have to have a zone with no bikes to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
Because we do other things. Like, she does a lot of gaming and streaming and fun stuff like that. Camper stuff.
Oh, yeah. Bus stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we both have other hobbies outside of bikes. And it's going to be kind of fun, like, to turn off that switch of, like, we talk about bikes every day, 24/7. Everyone that comes in wants to talk about bikes. It's going to be nice not to talk about bikes.
Yeah, let's talk about something else.
Because, the topic I kind of want to talk about today with no bikes is it kind of just happened. Every year, I have a 1979 Chevy short bus that I actually got from Anyssa back in high school. Fixed it up, got it running and driving real nice. It's kind of like a bus camper type deal. Right now it's storage for a little bit. But I always put Christmas lights on it every year. It started actually, I think in 2021, 2020. I can't remember which one of those years, but it was during COVID and everything sucked. Because COVID sucked. And I was like, what can be like fun we can do? It'll be outside. Something that it's like, it's not going to be like, make people smile. And I was like, oh my gosh, we should put some Christmas lights on the bus. That'd be so fun. So we did. And I think our first year we only put like 1,000 on there. We did a couple of strands. It looked really cool. And we drove around. People were laughing, taking photos. And that's how this all started. And it's like every year, the next year, I was like, I gotta do more. So I did 5,000 lights, which turned out awesome. And I also did the Christmas parade here in town, and it was awesome. Everyone loved the lights. But then it was like, I can do more lights on this thing.
Yeah, you can fit more.
Fit 100%. So I think this year our goal was 15,000 lights. We kind of ran out of time. We got more around 11,000, 12,000 lights. But it's so bright this year.
It's so bright. I will say I recently saw a photo of the first year you did it, and it was more of just kind of an outline of lights. I think what people would maybe expect when you say you put lights on your bus. But even with just that outline, like, it was already so bright. But this year, oh my gosh, it was so bright. Like, going down the parade, down the street, and just seeing the light on the people's faces watching it. Like, it's so bright that it's overpowering, like, the street lights. Like, it's insane.
Yeah, because like the first year we did it, like how they have it set up is like they have a judging table to judge your float. And they always have the super bright light. So every time you pull up with there with like your Christmas lights, it kind of washes it out. This year, no way. You could see those lights. It was awesome because usually we tape the lights on too. But this year I was like, for ease, we made panels for the side. So we took chicken wire, like the 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch, and then just put the wire in, or the Christmas lights in, and zip tied them so we can take them off, put them on every year to make it easier. And I mean, just those panels alone, we had 6,000 lights. That was like more. Those thankfully 4 panels, 2 on each side, were more lights than our second year ever doing it.
Yeah,
which is crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. It looks so good, though.
Yeah, it looks so good. I'm thrilled silly about how it turned out. And then for our float we did, I made some mounts that go out front of the bus that actually held 4 bikes. That made it look like reindeer were like kind of pulling the bus. Super scary to drive. It was so sketchy because I didn't really test it with the bikes on there when I first made it. But I was like, it's got to work. I mean, why not? Why wouldn't it work?
Yeah, of course.
Put it on there. I did not like 4 bikes. So Matt came over and we put PVC pipes in between. It worked. Nothing broke. It stayed on the whole time. It worked phenomenally, actually.
Oh, yeah. And I think it looked amazing. Like, it really looked like what we were going for. Because I remember when we came up with the idea of, like, oh, the bus is just a big sleigh, basically.
Yeah. So. And we ratchet strapped Anyssa to the roof.
Oh, yeah.
And she was, like, guiding it around, and it looked awesome. Everyone loved it, too.
Yeah.
It was fun, like, driving by and seeing those kids' faces, like, oh, my gosh, like, that's a lot of lights.
It's a lot of lights, yeah.
Yeah, and then every year I'm like, oh, gotta do more.
Yep.
We gotta do more lights. I mean, we're not even close to getting too many lights.
Oh, no. There's so much, like, empty space. Like, if you get up close to it, you're like, oh, I could fit another strand there and all of that. So the day that you have, like, a full decked out panels to go up on it, it's going to be almost like a transformer. You just, like, click these panels to it. It's going to be so cool.
I would love, my end goal, I don't know if this would ever happen. I would love to get the world record, or like the Guinness record of the most lights on a short bus. If possible.
That'd be pretty sick.
Who knows?
Yeah. Getting back into kind of the history of the bus, it was something that I believe my parents got back when I was in first grade. My mom did daycare, so it was something she got to kind of tote us kids around, do cool things. I remember one of the main things we did in it was go watch the Christmas parade. So it's really crazy that kind of the history of the bus has moved towards being this like iconic piece of the Christmas parade. And it's so cool to imagine that going from, I remember when my parents first got it, like very clearly. And then it sat in my driveway for years and years, probably like maybe almost 10 years when you got it. And my parents were getting ready to give it away. And I was like, hey, Isaac, you like cars and stuff. You want to try to fix this thing up? And you were like, heck yeah.
Oh, yeah. And it's like kind of the anniversary of it, too. Maybe next episode we'll go more in depth of like the start from the beginning, like how this whole conversation
went. Yeah, because you'll have to talk about how you built it up and all of that. So.
Oh, yeah. Just the pain in the butt getting it out of there.
Yeah.
Which is a fun story for next time, next episode. But yeah, the Christmas parade was awesome. Christmas lights. My favorite part, though, the Christmas parade's fun. The best part is kind of taking the float apart and just having all the lights on the bus and just driving around. People are like, I love going in the driver's seat and be like, man, why is everyone staring at me? It's almost 11,000 lights on there.
Yeah, because understand, you already get stares because it's a bus.
Yeah.
And, like, it's also loud. And it's, like, old bus, and they're like, who the heck's driving this thing? But then you add lights onto it, and it's just, like, even more of an eye catcher.
Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah.
I love it. I love going to, like, the Sonic and just be, like, pulling up in there, and people are just driving by honking. It's just it's so much fun. Or going to, like, through a drive-through. Our zoo also does a big light thing. So they put lights up in their trees everywhere around the zoo. So I like doing like a photo shoot with it there too. I've also used the bus as a background for photo shoots. But that's also a different story of talking about that. But yeah,
so many future ideas.
I know. I love the bus so much. I even thought about getting rid of it a few years ago, and then I was like, no, there's no way. It's too iconic. Yeah. Cause like it's so handy to have too. Like putting wood in the back of it, and it's like, oh, it's under weather. Like it's awesome. Best thing ever.
Yeah, the thing that's crazy to me is how much time you spend, money, like resources, and just like effort you put into this thing. Because I mean, besides the physical, like putting on the lights and like getting them up and all of that, but you have to obviously, it has to run, it has to be able to move. You also have to think about the gas that it takes. Yeah,
that thing is a gas guzzler too.
Yeah.
And it's like putting on the lights. It's like, oh, people are like, oh yeah, you probably do it in a couple days. No, like we start in September, getting all the panels ready, making sure all the lights work. Like some of the lights just break because they are cheap LEDs.
And like around where the doors and hinges are, sometimes they get caught in the windows and such.
Yeah, so. You'll break a light. So it's like I soldered like 20 strands this year of fixing it, and that takes so much time. That's like a full day of just soldering. And then just like unpacking everything, and then I am dreading packing everything this year because there's so many lights. Because it's like 1 year we were like, oh, we're gonna do it just all at once, like putting all the lights on. It took 16 hours, and it took just as long taking everything off. Yeah, because you have to like make sure it's wrapped right and like make it easy for yourself.
That's where your panels come in handy, because then theoretically you just kind of unhook them, take them off, and then set them for next year.
Yeah. So
Theoretically.
But we have a lot of panels to make still. Like, I started in September, and I was like, oh, plenty of time.
Yeah.
No, not even close.
I remember the day you were like, oh, okay, I'm going to go home, and we're going to work on this. And then the next day you came in, and you were like, yeah, this is going to take a lot longer than I thought.
Yeah, I'll be happy to get the sides done, which I got the sides done. Mm-hmm. But, man, it's going to take forever to get everything else ready. But, yeah, I love the thing.
Yeah, it's awesome. I love it. I always have, like, so excited. I even did my final project at the tech college over your bus, so.
That's even awesome. The bus will always live on.
I wrote a speech about the bus in my speech class. Just iconic.
Yeah, I've done totally different I've done papers about my bus.
You made a shirt?
I made a shirt. I did an art piece for a clay class that turned out amazing of the bus. It's just I don't think I'll ever get rid of it. I would love to make that one get another bus and just make that one kind of just like a nice drive around fun weekend
the
bus.
one you can like actually mess around with, I guess. And
because I would love to get another bus to like for camping and stuff like that. It's kind of what the bus is now, but it's just not fuel efficient enough for that. 4 miles per gallon ain't the thing.
It's rough.
For a small block Chevy, that thing, 55 is the max for that thing.
Oh yeah, I remember when when you had to drive it home in the thunderstorm when we took it to go live stream.
Oh my god.
Yeah, we live streamed out of the back of the thing during a actual tornado.
Yeah, an actual tornado.
It was awful.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, and then driving home, you were like, "Can you follow me home just in case?" And I was like, "Yeah," because you were like, it was probably like midnight. It was super late at night already. God. We had been working all day, and then you were driving in this downpouring rain in the bus that only goes so fast.
And I'm like, I'm the biggest thing on the road. Lightning rod.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, but yeah, that bus is a pain in the ass, but it's awesome.
Yes, it's awesome. It does break my heart because we actually growing up had 2 buses. We had the short bus, the white short bus, and then we had a black, like regular school bus size that was completely converted into an RV type camper. Mm-hmm. And I still wish that you had that one too, because the things you could have done with that. Oh,
I would eventually. It's on the list.
Yeah.
I need a shop first to do that.
Well,
But yeah, I guess kind of back to the feeling of this podcast. That's kind of like a glimpse of one of our non-bike related.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we don't want to talk about bikes.
Yeah. We talk about bikes all day.
Yeah. And I mean, there's always fun stuff. I mean, people listening are probably not going to be only bike related too. So, and some days the bike version may be longer than the non-bike segment. Some days the non-bike segment may be the whole thing.
Yeah.
So it'll be fun. I'm really, really, really excited for this podcast. But yeah, that's kind of our style. And yeah, I guess another thing, I don't know if I mentioned, we are not affiliated with Merchant Cycles, the bike shop. Like, we both work here and we'll talk about it a lot, but we're not like the podcast for Merchant.
Yeah, in the sense of we are not saying what Merchant Cycles thinks. We are saying what Isaac thinks. We were saying what Anyssa thinks. We're not saying what Merchant Cycles thinks. So
yeah. I promise you Merchant Cycles podcast will probably be coming soon, which is going to be really fun, especially like having Matt on board and like me excited to do a podcast. Anyssa's excited to do a podcast. So
yeah, this is just really our own personal thing. This is not like we're not paid by Merchant Cycles to do this. We're not like instructed on what, you know what I mean? Like it's, we just happen to both work at Merchant Cycles.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is just for fun. Like this is going to be more of like just talking, shooting the shit, hanging out.
Yes, exactly. So,
but yeah, I forgot if I said that or not. If I repeated it, I'm sorry, but yeah. And it's kind of one of those things. You might be patient with me because this is like the first podcast I've ever been on. Mm-hmm. So we're just still trying. Yeah, both of us. We're still trying to figure out how we want it to look, how it wanted to feel. But honestly, after this, we're getting to the end of the first episode. I'm really excited for what this is.
So if you've stuck around this far, thanks for giving us a shot, because it can only get smoother from here.
Oh yeah, the first one's the hardest part, and then all the rest should smooth out.
How do you start? I don't know.
I know. Right before we started, we were like, how do we start this thing? I'm gonna start singing.
Yeah.
And be like, hey everybody.
Yeah.
The start of a show.
Because we're so used to that formal format of a video, you know.
Yeah.
I welcome, but podcasts, it's not that. It's just sit down and
Yeah,
fix it.
there's no script. I mean,
Yeah.
I have outlines to keep me on track. But yeah, it's just kind of just
Really want it to feel like you're just sitting down with us and chatting, or I don't know whether you're listening to this whilst on a bike ride or at home on the couch or whilst you're taking a bath. I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever you're into. Just like you're hanging out with us, like if we're in the room too.
Yeah, we're just making it so we're just telling stories. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I guess that's pretty much it.
Pretty much it.
How do we wrap up? Now, how do we wrap up?
Oh
this
God,
thing?
the beginning, now the end.
I know. I guess, like you said, thank you for everyone sticking around.
Yes, for real.
If you have any suggestions or anything you want us to specifically talk about, just let us know.
Bikes or not bikes.
Yeah, bikes or no bikes.
You know, or anything to clarify and stuff like that.
I'll talk about cats every once in a while. I'll talk about dogs.
Yeah.
Shoot. Do you want to talk about fried chicken? I'll eat. We could be food.
We're going to have to do a fried chicken episode.
We're going to do a fried chicken and food review. Because also Anyssa's a really good cook.
I love cooking so much. Anyways, let's not get into that.
Okay, yeah. So thank you everyone for listening with us, and I hope you have a great night, great evening, great morning. Whenever you listen to this, have a great day.
Yeah. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.